a special episode of Let's Talk Money with Friends. You know, every Thursday, every Wednesday, we usually come. Yet last night we had an awesome show, and I hope you had an opportunity to watch and participate and make a comment. But tonight we have a special guest with us, and I'm so excited because there's so much that we're going to be learning about this amazing, powerful. I call her mover and a shaker because she is. We are looking forward. I am looking forward to learning more about her, and I hope that you take the time to learn about her as well. So, who do we have with us tonight? We have Karm-Syndia with us tonight. Karm-Syndia is an entrepreneur. She's a dancer. She's a filmmaker. Oh my gosh, what don't you do, Cam? She does so much, and I was talking to Sanders Boston. We had a conversation a couple months ago, and he was like, Gabrielle, you gotta meet this young lady. You gotta talk to her. You gotta have a conversation with her. And I was like, yeah, I'm excited because I'm always interested in meeting new people. And when I picked up the phone and called Karm-Syndia, and she was like, yeah, I'm interested in having a conversation with you, Gabrielle. So I'm here, I'm excited, and I hope you are too who are watching. And yeah, so Cam, why don't we give you an opportunity to introduce yourself a little bit, because we have questions specifically for you, but we would like for you to give us a quick introduction of who you are and yeah, what you're all about.
Merci, Gabrielle. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm very, very excited, and thank you, Sanders Boston, for the referral, because that's the main reason I'm here tonight. So like you guys heard, my name is Karm-Syndia, and I am a dance studio owner. I teach dance, and I also perform, and I'm also an entrepreneur. I own a dance a clothing store with my mother called Cathy Jodley, and I'm also a filmmaker. I've been producing films for about 7 years now. And yes, I kind of like the art. I sing, and I'm also very involved in the community. Anything that has to do with Haiti, moi là. Depuis m'tende mot Haïti a seulement, nous met konnen apre visage moi pareil.
I know. I was saying earlier off camera that I know you are like trilingual. You speak like French, English, and of course Creole, Haitian Creole. And we talked about like, however you feel like speaking, definitely tonight. Parce que moi-même, tout m'parle Creole, m'parle anglais, so nous capables parler ensemble. Et n'importe qui on veut parler. Et so Sanders, right? Sanders was saying like, oh, you gotta meet her. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever met this lady before. And then when we started having a conversation, Cam, and I was like, wait a second, I have met you before. Like you said, you like to sing. Brunier had invited
Yes.
me to his house. Brunier is a very talented, one of the talented,
Yes.
one of the many talented folks that we have in our community.
Mhm.
And he had invited me to his house for one of his fancy, dressing up, sipping on wine and champagne, a really nice party. And I remember you were there and you sung. You were awesome. So how long have you been singing?
Um, I I want to say I've been singing my entire life. When I was a kid, yo te remere le Rossignol.
Really?
Rossignol, for those of you watching who don't know, Rossignol, c'est un oiseau qui toujours ap, qui toujours ap ton pile ti bri.
Yes.
So yo te rele Rossignol. However, it didn't look like I had the best voice. But my mom on maestro choral. My mother used to lead a choir, and I used to go to practice with her, and I would sit behind the choir. And I've always liked singing, regardless when people would tell me that I sounded like a frog, that I sounded like they would tell me things, but I was like, I don't care. Singing makes me feel good, and I'm just gonna keep on singing. So when I moved to the States, my church did not have a youth group. So I went to the leaders and I talked to them, and they agreed to let me lead a youth group, and which became Écho des Jeunes, Chorale Écho des Jeunes at St. Angela. And from there, because I had to go to practice sometimes 3 times a week, and my voice started developing and getting better and better. And when Bunia and I we became friends, singing was something we had in common besides dancing. And Brunier, not only he can sing and he can play instruments, but also he has a talent for shaping voices. So he started giving me little pointers here and there. He would say, "Come, why don't you sing that note? Sing that note." And and here I am. Now I feel very confident. Not that I wasn't before, but now I'm confident in my skills, my singing skills.
Yeah, you're talking about having the right connection and really networking. See, our goal here with Let's Talk Money with Friends, we always talk about, how your network is your net worth. The
Yeah.
folks that you associate with can really make or shake you,
Mhm.
can really make or shape you very well. So I'm glad because you're right. Really, oh my gosh, he sings, he dances, I've seen him cook real well.
Yes.
And also I know he does so many other things that we're going to talk about later on. But I mean, you talked about like your mom being a maestro. She used to lead the singing at church, and because of that you got interested in the arts and culture, right?
Mhm.
Or music. um so is that how you decided, oh, I might want to pursue a career in the arts?
I want to say I was one of those lucky people who grew up in an artistic family. My family was always interested in the arts. Started with my grandmother, who was a dancer. Um, in my family, after dinner, what we did, we sat and we danced.
Oh,
Sometimes they
wow.
would have the younger ones. We would put a show together for the adults. We would do costume changes. When I say costume changes, I literally means wearing my uncle's shirt, taking socks and putting them on my in my arms as long gloves, and then we would do sound, and somebody would have like a I don't know, some sort of, we would take spoons and stuff like that and make a whole show for our parents, and it was our own little stage at home. The living room was our stage, and so art was there. And with church, my mom also used to do a lot of community theater. So during Christmas time, we would do like Jesus is born. Till today, I remember every single line from the play. So we
Wow.
would do plays, we would do dance, I was in dance school. So art was always, I was surrounded by art. And I went to Collège Saint-François in Haiti. That was also a school that cultivated the arts. They always had events where they allowed the students to present something of our own choices, whether it was a song or a dance piece. We were allowed to explore our creativity.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think it has to start early, and
Yeah.
it has to be something that your parents expose you to. We were talking about it offline that not everyone has had the privilege and the opportunity to have had that exposure. So it's great to have parents. I know folks ask me all the time, how come you do what you do and you're not afraid? Well, going back in church, I used to sing in front of a crowd at church. And we used to have to read the Bible in front of folks at church. And also, the arts. I'm one of those people who are huge supporters of
Mhm.
gifted people like you, because I do believe that such a great gift to have and such a great skill, to be able to create things. And I'm a supporter. I'll buy those tickets to
Yeah.
go and support. Um, yeah. So, how long have you been in business? Because I know earlier you mentioned that you
Mhm.
have a studio and you have a clothing store. You're awfully young. So, how long have you been in business, Cynthia?
I've been in business for 11 years. I opened
Oh,
my dance studio while I was still in college, actually. That's when I started my dance, the first one. And from there, I always also wanted to have my own production company. That one took a little bit longer, obvious for the obvious reasons, because for something like that, you need skills in that domain, and the equipment are not cheap. So it took me a little bit longer to get there, but I was putting stone by stone as the years approach. And um, the other one, even though technically it's my business, but I feel like it's more my mom's dream that I helped accomplish, that I helped become true, because my mom has always been there for me since day one, and she helped make my dream come true. So so my mom is a fashion designer. Let me start by saying that. So my mom always made my clothes growing up. I don't really remember buying dresses as a kid. She always made everything for me. I mean, obviously she would buy me t-shirts and jeans, but anything that was not t-shirt and jeans, my mom made.
So wait a second. So you mean like Christmas, you know how in Haiti,
I
the
had a
Christmas to
new
go get
dress
dressed?
every occasion, every
Christmas.
occasion, birthday, Christmas, Easter, somebody's party. I'm invited to go somewhere. Every occasion, I had to bring new dress.
Oh
Even my
wow.
carnival outfit. She would just tell me, "What do you want to wear?" And I would tell her, "I want to be Esmeralda. I want to be a flower. I want to be this," and she would make it.
Wow, how lucky. You were
Yes,
very lucky.
I'm very,
But go,
very lucky. And
but go ahead.
when I moved to the US and I started being in the entertainment industry, and I would go to so many red carpet events, so people would start asking me, "Oh, I like your outfit." And I would always say, "Oh yeah, my mom made it," because my mom would make those as well. And it became a thing. So to the point that I decided that I would no longer, any big events, I would no longer wear somebody else's dress, because so now people will walk up to me, "I know your mom made this." So they, so one day I was like, "Mom, why don't we do this?" People are always asking us. Sometimes they're saying, "Can I have one of this? Can I have one of that?" And we thought, "No, she made it just for me." And we always, my earliest memory of my mom, or my best ones, is when she would make us matching outfits. So she would make a dress for herself and make me pins, or she would make like a little top, and we always had some sort of matching thing, and we would just go, how, I mean, I don't know if they still do that now, considering the state of Haiti, but we would go Sean Mass, we would go other places in the parks and get ice cream and just walk around. And she loved it when she would match with me. So
Wow.
I said, that right there, it's an idea for business. Why don't we take that and we make it, because I'm sure a lot of people want to match with their children, or when they're doing family photos, or so that's the whole idea. And so my nickname is actually Cathy, and my mom's name is Jodli. So the store, so we have a fashion line called Cathy Jodli. So, and we opened our first store in October 10th, on October 10th.
Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome. I definitely want to go by the store to see if I could find something that I would like. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. Mothers, they're awesome, and I know for me, my mother has been so instrumental in being the person that I am.
Yeah.
It's so great to have parents that you can look up to, and parents who can inspire you to do great things. So I know, in addition to the clothing store, you have other things that you, like for example, I know you have a movie coming up, and also the dance studio. So before, I would like to talk about the dance studio. The dance studio that you have, is it for for youngsters, for children, or can it adults
It's
come
all
in and
ages. It's all
all ages?
ages. That was the idea. When I opened the dance studio, it had two goals. One, it's to make it affordable, because I realized dance classes, it's a luxury. Anywhere, whether it's in Haiti or it's here in the United States, it's super expensive. And dance studios manage to find ways to charge you for a lot. Costume. And sometimes it's not really their fault. Now that I'm in the industry, I understand costumes are very expensive, and some renting locations to do shows. So they have no choice but to do that, just to pay certain bills. However, I do have an upside, or upper end, should I say, due to the fact that my mom is a designer. I don't have to pay the high price for costumes. A lot of the time, she just charged me for material. Therefore, I'm able to give the parents a very good, affordable pricing. So that was goal number one, to provide affordable dance classes to the community. And then goal number two is to provide classes for everyone, because people all the time would say, "I'm too old. I can't go back to dancing." Or they have that notion, if you didn't start ballet at 3, then you can't do ballet. That is not true.
So are you saying it's not too late for me?
It's not too late. I've actually had students older than
Oh
you
wait,
coming for ballet.
really?
Yes, because sometimes people are coming not because they want to be a ballerina, but just because now they've taken a lot of the ballet steps and they call it Pilates. So it's just to help with joints and stretching your body, stretching your neck, your all your muscles and all the bones in your body. So ballet can do that for you, can give
That's
you
all.
that flexibility. Or if you have chronic pain, it can also help with that. And it goes slower. A lot of people too, they can't do cardio, but they still want to do some sort of exercise. Doing ballet help. So I talk with them and I see what their limits are and I give them things that they can do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where are you located? Where is your studio?
So our first location is in Hyde Park. We are at 26 Central Ave, in the Menino Art Building. And actually, in September, we opened our second location in Taunton. Just a little bit. I know a lot of people may not be familiar with Taunton, but we are right after Bridgewater. So that we are located at 44 Weir Street.
And do you have classes all day or just like certain times
Most
of?
of our classes are afternoon because most of our students are actual students, so they're coming from school or people are coming from work. So we have classes evenings and weekends.
Really? You see me asking many questions because I'll be going there soon. You providing classes right now? Are you still open during this really tough time with
So
COVID?
on Thursday, so we have our schedule is a bit flexible. We don't have classes on Thursdays. We have classes depending on which location. We have classes Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. However, we are closing this season. We are starting with January season, which means usually the schedule changes with the season. Either we have more demand, therefore we have to open the schedule, or we wanna offer more classes.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely, that's something that I want to take a look at. The other project that you are working on is a film.
Yes,
Films are the bilingual. So if you want to share that in Creole and English, um, a heart on the men.
yes. Un
Yes.
domaine ou encore un cœur en convalescence. Ça veut dire c'est un cœur qui guéri, qui pas fin guéri maintenant, mais qui guéri. The idea of the movie, or should I say the synopsis of the movie, is this man, his name is Ralph. He finds out that his fiance died the night before the wedding. So now the question that the movie poses is, will Ralph get over this heartache and move on? So which comes, a heart on the mend. So his heart is mending.
Yeah. It's a tough time because I mean, so many people have experienced losses in during this COVID crisis
Yeah.
that we experiencing. So I'm sure so many folks will be able to identify with the movie and see themselves because it's not easy to overcome heartaches, right? It's not easy. So I know you have a trailer on your Facebook page, right?
So we have a teaser. Very soon we will release a first look. So we will have surprises for people. I don't want to reveal everything,
No.
but right now we do have the teaser. So everybody, please follow us on social media, a heart on the men, or if you just type in AHOTM, or like Bunyang and I would like to say a hot.
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
can see all the updates about the movie. We will be keeping you. The movie is coming next fall 2022. So we already have reserved the Strand Theater. That's where we will take place. So save. We will release the show date very soon. But for now, you can definitely check out the teaser.
Yeah, I've gone to many premieres at the Strand Theater. It's a great location, close to very much in Boston. So, folks have to come out and support. But this movie was written by you and Bunia.
So the movie was written by Brunier Olivier Shackleton. So he wrote it and I directed it, and we are both executive producers.
Yeah, and also I heard you said that you were also the editor of that movie.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
editing. I've seen editing being done. That's why I go live because I cannot stand the work and the time and the energy it requires to edit a movie. I mean, a show, 30 minutes show, never mind a movie
Yeah.
that's going to be at least an hour and a half, right?
Yeah, the movie is almost 2 hours long, and it has been a very time consuming. And believe it or not, Bunya and I, we have been meeting weekly on a weekly basis since April. We just revising, not editing, revising the movie because we want to make sure that we put out a product not only that we are proud of, but that also the people that are in the movie are proud of, and that Haitians that are watching it are proud to show people that are not Haitian, because that's the issue in the Haitian film industry, is that people complain a lot about the mediocrity um, of a lot of the productions, or that it's not worthy to show somebody who's not Haitian because they would say, "What's that?" It's very bad. So we wanted to put something that we would be very proud. So we are really going slowly but surely, because we want it to be. I know they say it's impossible to reach perfection, but we want to get as close to it as possible.
Yeah, and I know Guinea, knowing the type of person that I've seen him, like when I go to a party or event at
Mhm,
his house, he's very much a high caliber type of
mhm.
person. So, and having, recently to having the conversation with you, I could tell that you are very similar to him. So definitely I'll say it's gonna be an awesome movie. Going back to your studio, I know for the holidays you have a Christmas or holiday show that you do. Is that through the studio or is that another production outside of that?
It is for the studio. So our studio usually puts out we have three annual events that we do. We have a Christmas showcase that is most of the time on a smaller scale. It's something because when you think of it, it's the student journey in October, September, October. So they're not completely there for a huge showcase yet, but we still want to show something to the parents and family and friends. So we do a little, and it's Christmas, and there's a lot of kids at the studio. So we do a little Christmas showcase. We usually celebrate the anniversary of the studio the weekend after Easter. So that's when we have a huge gala with like red carpets, a bit more upscale, and the students also perform at that event. And the biggest one for me is the beginning of summer in June. That's when we host a show. That's when we usually tell a story. Last time that we did one, it was called Genesis, um, the um, the journey from Hispaniola to Haiti.
Oh,
So we
wow.
literally told the timeline of Haitian history just via dance. Not a word was spoken, just dancing.
Wow, that's awesome. So, you have a holiday show happening now. Is it just for the parents or is it open to the public?
It is open to the public. However, tickets are limited because we are doing it in a smaller space. So we only
You
have
sold out? Are you sold out?
we are not sold out yet. We would love to be, but we are not sold out yet.
Okay,
But
well, tell the
tickets are
people how to
definitely
get.
limited.
Okay, can you tell the people how to get access to those tickets?
Yes, if you go on ksdancestudio.com/events, or if you can only remember ksdancestudio.com.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That would be a great holiday thing to do because right now I know, because of COVID, so many venues have closed down or they're not performing this holiday. So
Yes,
if you can, definitely go out and support. So last night we talked about culture,
yes.
Cam, and we talked about how important it is. Qui importance li gen pour embrasser culture,
Mm-hmm.
embrace your culture, and also so that not only you're proud of yourself and can carry yourself with
Mm-hmm.
dignity in the world, but also able to embrace other people's culture. How do you feel about that? You think that was a good conversation to have? And
Oh,
how
yes.
has you being a Haitian American impacted you or affected you in your career?
Oh, I think it's extremely important. Because culture is part of your identity. So if you don't have any culture, almost it's almost saying, who are you then? Because culture, what is culture? It's a customs, things we say, things we do, or history, and where we're from. That's what culture is, mannerism. Um, and to kind of tie that with what we were just talking about with the dance studio, even though offer like ballet and hip hop and contemporary that are mostly world dance, but I made it it was very important for me to have Haitian folklore part of it, and even African dance part of it. A lot of parents come to me because they want their kids to have access to that Haitian folklore. I've had students coming to me to say, well, before I used to be ashamed to say that I'm Haitian. I wanted to say that I'm Jamaican. But after we did that show about Haiti and I learned about, they don't teach Haitian history here in the United States. But through the dance, my student learned about Haitian history. And she said, now I'm at school. I'm the first person to learn, hey, I'm Haitian. Hey, I'm Haitian. So also we had 2 years ago, December 2019, I received a phone call from the TD Garden, which is where the Celtic plays, a lot of concerts happens, and they reached out to me and said we would be having the Harlem Globetrotters, that are an entertainment basket team, coming to Boston, and we would like to invite you to perform for the pre-show. I could have chosen, because I have the international stage right there. We're gonna perform right on the stadium. I could have chosen hip hop or some other things. We performed Haitian folklore. I've selected
Awesome.
multiple Haitian music that I really liked and made a mix. I think I selected 4 or 5 different ones and made a mix, and that's what we performed. And I'm guessing they liked it, because guess what? They invited us back again. So we're performing December 28th at the TD Garden. Tickets on sale, ksdnstudio.com. I
I
have to put
know.
that one in.
I would love to go into the 26th.
The 28th. So
Oh,
we
the
are
20.
performing this time. We're performing at the halftime show, which is even a
Wow.
bigger deal. And guess what we're performing? Haitian folklore.
Good for you. You gotta show up and let people know how awesome it is to be who you are. I've always said, I thank God again, going back to parents and also community, your church community, and also your parents at home, teaching you it's okay to be who you are. It's actually more than okay. You are good enough. And that you ought to be proud of who you are. Nous
Yes.
toujours dis ça parce que bakon qui est m'daye, si m'bada haïtienne,
Mhm.
right? Et aussi
Yes.
to côté m'passe me représenter. And the
Mhm,
key
mhm.
is to be your very best, to be your very best self.
Yes.
And yeah, to let people know you have something to offer and that they can learn from that. So
Yes.
so going back again to so the idea of some of the challenges I know as a woman. So we talk about culture, right? I know in our culture, Cynthia. Do you just go by Cam or Cyndia? I've been calling you Cam.
So, so the
It's
whole
like,
first name is Karm-Syndia, but I know
okay,
sometimes it's difficult for people to pronounce, so I'm okay with Karm.
Cynthia. Okay, Cynthia. We talk. We I think we talked about it a little bit offline. In our culture, right? You need to be a lawyer and a
Mhm.
doctor and a nurse, and it was very specific. So lucky for you, you had parents. Des parents qui disent, oh, that's lovely, right? But
Yes.
have you received some pushback from community members who are like, what is she trying to do? She's a woman, go sit over here. Or some of the lack of support that you would get
Um,
because you're not doing the normal,
yes.
the traditional. Like my career is not very traditional in our culture. So
Yes.
it's a little different. Yeah, go ahead.
For me, I feel like whatever I want matters first. That's the first one I want to say. Whatever I want matters first. I'm just lucky enough to have my parents who also want what I want. So there you go. I would say if my mom is supporting me, that's all I need. And the reason I said what I want matters first, because even in the scenario that my mom was not supportive, what I want matters first. That's what I'm saying. I'm lucky.
Strong-willed child.
Exactly.
You're a strong-willed child.
Exactly. So I'm like, the fact that she wants to support me, and she has chosen that even when she did not understand the industry, she did not understand where I was gonna go, she supported me. So the opinion of the people out there doesn't matter, because they are not the one giving me the opportunity. They are not the one, like one of my cousins like to say, they're not the one paying my bills. Therefore, their opinion doesn't matter as much. However, I have received sexist comments. I've had received people that I remember I was a little girl. I was 16 when I started at Tele Diaspora.
Yeah, we
And
were talking about that.
yes, exactly.
I
That's
don't
why
know
I
why
got
I'm
my TV
echoing.
debut.
Do you hear an echo? I'm so sorry. There's
No,
like
no,
this
it's
noise
fine.
and I'm hearing. Okay, maybe it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about it because I didn't mean to cut you, but I'm excited. Telejaspo, we were talking about it. I just found out too.
Yeah.
You and I, we had that in common. I don't think I ever saw you because I was early on. I would
Yes.
get on at 10 o'clock and I would go to church after Sundays and you would come after in the afternoon, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
go
that's
ahead.
correct. And that's where I got my debut. However, I would find people all the time telling me, "Oh, you are too young to do X, Y, and Z." I would go to meetings. Not only would I be the youngest one, but a lot of times in those meetings, I would be the only female too. And I remember when Yvon decided to go back to Haiti, he had assigned Farah. She was working for the Haitian consulate at the time too. He had assigned her to be the director of the channel. There was a lot of fuss about this, because how dare you? You're a woman. How dare you tell me what time to come for my show? I've been here for 20 years. I know Yvon X, Y, and Z. Why are you telling me? And same thing too, down the line, I would find people, we would be in meetings, and after I've, proved myself over and over, and then they would say, "Oh, Karm can direct this," because the excuse was always either she's too young or she's a woman. But sometimes they wouldn't say she's a woman, but it was understood it was because I was a woman. And sometimes I would say, what does my age has to do with what I can do? Because nowadays you see 4-year-old, 5-year-olds that are mega superstar because they can sing, they can dance, or they're 7 or 8, they already have their own business going on. That's the God-given talent. So you can tell them, "Oh, you shouldn't be singing because you're too young." I don't think that had anything to do with it, but there has been instances where they have chosen a guy instead of me, even when I was more qualified than the guy. So obviously, at certain time, at the moment you feel some way, but then it is actually my fuel to work harder, to prove myself. Even then, at the time, at this point, at this time, whenever this happened, what comes to my mind is, I don't want to impress you because you have tunnel vision. You can only see to a certain limit. And I want to go above to the limit that you can see. Therefore, I don't even want to work with you. I don't even want to impress you. I'm trying to impress somebody above you, because the person got to that position because they can see further. And that's where I want to be. Therefore, move on next.
Next to the left. So it's really important because I think as women and also minorities, we do have special challenges that we have to deal with every day. And unfortunately, malheureusement, challenge ça que nous recevons, c'est yo sorti de monde qui sont dans la communauté nous. J'ai l'aime de faire commencer dans Yvon Tour, de venir avec un pile énergie, un pile passion pour me devenir des communautés et bon monde qui dans la communauté ont older gentlemen in the community. I'm not going to say the name, but les parents disent comme ça, "Oh, depuis qu'il était haïtien ou haïtienne, so, ou vient avec une force, ou vient prendre place non." But that wasn't the objective. The objective was, like you said, you have a God-given talent and you feel like you have something to share. And that's why
Mhm.
I'm very impressed by you. And I'm very happy that I had an opportunity to meet you, that I've had this opportunity to really meet you. We've crossed paths, but the fact that now that I can have a conversation with you, that's awesome. And just, someone who's impacting the community in a positive way. Because I know when I talked to you, when we had a conversation the other day, planning for this, you said that, when I said to you, what is the ultimate goal for your work? What is the ultimate purpose for the work that you're doing? Now, remember you mentioned that you want to shed light in our community, and also you want to uplift the people. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yes. Earlier when we were talking, you said something about the people that are not fortunate. They're talented, but they're not fortunate. I strongly believe about if you got to a certain place, you should try your best to help. Now, what that help looks like depends on you. Help doesn't necessarily means pour aimer nan pochou by l'argent. Um, so help can be an advice, it can be mentoring, it can be connecting people together. Whatever that, if it helps somebody, it helps. So for me, my grandparents really gave me um a lot of they created the path for me. Growing up, I always saw them helping other people one way or another, either by with food, either with material things, or either with just support. So when I started working with kids, so I do have a weak spot for kids. And whenever I'm looking at Haiti's situation, everybody will love Haiti. Every Haitian in the diaspora, we're looking at Haiti, we're always thinking, how can I help? What can I do to change the country, to change the mindset? Est-ce que c'est travail mon yo besoin? Est-ce que c'est l'argent mon yo besoin? We are all somehow sending money back to help. So I ask myself, as a Haitian person who also love her country, I ask myself the same question. How can I help? How can I be part of the solution? Then I remember that Olo Haitian say, Timon c'est espoir demain. The kids are tomorrow's hope. Then I'm like, then that's where the work should get started. We need to protect those kids. We need to help them grow in a safe environment so that they can become better human beings. Because if we can protect these kids, in 20 plus years, they're gonna become the next president, the next minister, the next. So they won't be corrupted if we do a good job with them. Maybe it might be too late for the ones that we have now, but we can harvest a better generation of lawyers, better generation of doctors, of politicians. So let's start with kids. However, all the events that has been happening in our country, it's affecting the children. They can go to school, they can be happy, they can play outside, they can have summer programs. So that's why I started this nonprofit organization called Espoir Demain that focuses mainly on kids. And what we're trying to do with Espoir Demain is that we're trying to remove all the obstacles from these kids so they can have a normal childhood. They can go to school. They don't have to worry, am I gonna eat lunch today? Are they gonna send me back home because I didn't pay for the school? Or am I just gonna sit at home? So we're trying to remove all these obstacles, with school lunches programs, with summer camp programs, with Christmas party. Actually, we just did an auction so we can do a Christmas party. So we are hosting a Christmas party for them. There's gonna be a DJ, music, and gifts and dancing, entertainment for them, so they can be kids. They just need to be kids and not have to worry about anything else. So that's the goal of my foundation, Espoir Demain. And if anybody want to know more, they can visit espoirdemain.org.
So it's waterman.org, and it's a non-profit organization. So
Yes.
non-profit, si mon navle donate, or if they want to donate, they want to contribute, they want to support, that they can do it through
Yes.
the website. Yeah,
Yes, they can do
that's
that.
good. Yeah,
And they
that's
can
good.
also select us. So Amazon has this thing where you shop and then Amazon donate money to the organization. So, tout le monde qui gagne un compte avec Amazon, juste choisi, il y a des gens qui sont même comme ça, à soit 41 ou bien soit aller smile, like smile.amazon.com, and you're gonna select the organization. So, écrit Espoir demain, on a chaque fois acheter, comme ça, et Amazon a buy Espoir demain, comme, et pas non, comme ou pas payer. C'est juste pour acheter Amazon by organisation.
Oh, I have an Amazon account and I do purchase stuff online. So I'll definitely do that. That's great. You're making it easy for everyone to contribute and to partake in the work and to actually be a hero in the lives of those young people in Haiti while looking for us. I remember when I was back home, there was a song that I learned, and I'll never forget that song. Enfant d'aujourd'hui, adulte de demain, préparons-nous pour la relève. Oh, did you know that song?
But I should. It's very cute. I should.
Yes, it's almost like, you are a child today, but tomorrow you'll be an adult. They must prepare us for the what's to come, the future that we live. So I always think about that. That's why I care so much about kids, and I always want to make sure that when they come by me or they come around me, that they get something that they can hold on to for a lifetime. So that's awesome. I'm very proud of you for the work that you're doing,
Thank you.
Cynthia. Lastly, I know we've been having a long conversation here, but I just wanted to say that, where do you see yourself, in terms of like 5 to 10 years from now? Your ultimate goal for your career?
I feel like that's always a loaded question just because I'm not in one line of work. So it would be like a different 10 years for each line.
Definitely, you can talk about that. Yeah.
But ultimately, for me, I would love in 10 years to know that I've made an impact, a lasting impact, whether it's with the dancing or the movie. I would love to know that I have made an impact and I've represented, because I am very proud of who I am and where I came from and what I'm made of. And it hurts when who you are or what made you is been, belittled or torn apart, I should say. So I would love for the world to have a positive vision of Haiti, or when they hear Haitian, it's associated with something positive. So I think that's what my work is all about. Even whether it's the clothing where we're doing Haitian inspired design, whether it's the dancing where we're teaching kids, not just Haitian kids, but everybody. I teach people that are not Haitian folklore, or whether it's the movie that is representing Haiti, that is making our foreign brothers and sisters to see Haiti in a different light, as long as I can accomplish that goal. And
Well, I
making
mean,
my small step for better Haiti.
okay, Cynthia, I'm thinking, what not? Why not Hollywood? Why not the Emmys and the not the Emmys? Well, you sing the the Oscar and the Independent Film Festival. I mean, like you didn't talk about that because I
Well,
mean, as a filmmaker,
it's
you
part of
gotta
the
see
success
that.
too. It's part of the success too. Because if I can have access to a platform like this, that means
Right.
that my work, not only my work is doing what it's supposed to do, but also it will flourish and there will be positive consequences. Because if I don't get to those level, that means it may not even have an impact. Or maybe it's not as important. Because when you think of it, look at Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry has made it in history of film. However, he has never received an Oscar. He's never received an Emmy, yet he has touched the lives of so many Black Americans. He has shown Black American other than the slave, other than, somebody in the ghetto. So he has made an impact and he's never received none of those awards. So maybe if that's not what success is, maybe
it's part of it.
It's bigger than that.
Bigger than that. It's part of it. I want to see you make an impact. I want to see you change people's lives and perspective about who we are as a people. But I also want to see that trophy in
Well,
your hands.
actually, I'm
I
so
want
glad
to
you
see that.
mentioned
So I
this.
could say, yes, I know her.
I'm so glad
Definitely.
you mentioned this. I did a short film and I did win this.
Yes.
Um,
What
the
is
short
this?
the short film was called Steps to Your Heart, and I entered a film festival, and I won on an or honorary mention for it. So
Oh, that's awesome.
at
Congratulations.
the One Wheeler film festival.
Yes, definitely. You deserve it all, Cynthia. You deserve it all. I'm so excited because you are such an awesome, that's why I put, like I wanted to say you're an amazing young woman and the sky is not even the limit for you. I know you're gonna do much more than what you can even think or imagine. So there are young people who will be looking, maybe not today, but someday, you know, they'll be looking at this footage and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of her, and I would like to be like her, or do similar things,
Yeah.
um, follow similar career path." One advice you have for a young person who's looking and would like to pursue, who doesn't want to be a doctor or a nurse, who would like to pursue a career in entertainment industry or in the arts and culture? What one advice or multiple
Um,
advice?
my
Okay.
advice would be don't let people tell you who you can be and what you can do. Just believe in yourself and work really, really hard. It's not gonna fall on your lap just because you want it. You just have to, or to say, oh, some people are lucky. Those people are lucky because they were ready when the opportunity came. You do not want the opportunity to present itself and for you to not be ready enough to seize it. Therefore, one, don't listen to what people have to say. Listen to yourself. What do you want? What do you want to see yourself? And then put write those goals down and make sure you check them off. Make sure you read them again and again and again. Make sure you go out there, you do the work to get there. And that's it. If you follow that, that's all it is. That's all the advice I would
I
tell.
know that is not Creole. Tout parce qu'on connaît. Oh
Yes.
gosh. Something
Yes.
is wrong with
Mais
my
même n'a dit
sound.
en créole tout. Pas
Yes.
occupé ça, aucun moun ap di ou, konen ki sa ouvle, konen ki esouye, ki sa ouvle, et puis l'offre fin konen koto vle ale, kembe jo fixe sou buya, et puis travail du pour rive là. Parce qu'on pas vle les opportunités à venir, ou pas pare. Ou vle pour pare, pour les opportunités en paraître pour tout joindre. Ça veut dire, fais devoir pour, si c'est moun pour rencontrer, si c'est tête pour mettre dehors, si c'est l'école pour aller, si c'est YouTube pour chita pour regarder un petit tutoriel vidéo, fais travail pour bien pour faire, et puis pour occuper mon cap parler. Qui te parler, il y a parlé au même travail.
Yeah. Moi-même, de bagaille que nous te dit avant nous te venir dans l'air là, nous disons comme ça que overnight success, and overnight success usually takes about 15 years. For success overnight, li pou 15 ans, right?
Yes.
And also to Jean Paléan et préparation avec opportunité, faire réellement lucky. You are a very blessed woman. I'm not saying lucky, but you are a very blessed woman. And I know you will get quote unquote lucky with all the successes that you're looking for, because not only is it gonna make a difference in your life, but also in the lives of those who are gonna be watching and folks, especially in our community. So I just want to thank you for being on Let's Talk Money with Friends, a special program here tonight, conversation with KarmSyndia. Objective was to encourage and highlight entrepreneurs like you when I do the show outside of Wednesday, and business owners who are making a difference. And you are making a difference. You are an amazing woman. And, I just want to wish you good luck, luck, whatever, like I said, blessing, but definitely luck. And we are here for you, this community. I'm going to continue to be here. So next year, when your movie comes out, please come back. Come back with your co-stars or whoever you want to bring. Come back. We'll talk about it. And my goal is to continue to do the work that I'm doing now so that the audience will be large enough so that they will come out and support you. Because I know it matters. It matters to support those who are doing great things. And you are doing great things. So thank you so much. Any last word before we hang up?
I just want to say thank you so much for having me. pour tout le monde, nous fiers de tête, nous fiers de ça, nous accompli. Don't measure your success with someone else's success because this is your story. And I'm on my story, you're on your story. We might be on different chapter, but this is our individual books. So don't measure your success with somebody else's success. Just believe in yourself.
But get inspired. So I'm
Yes.
inspired by you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.